Pete Eshelman, now the owner of Joseph Decuis in Roanoke, has always had an eye for a good business opportunity, a trait that he learned from none other than George Steinbrenner during his time with the 1977 World Series champion New York Yankees. I sat down to chat with Eshelman about the journey from the concrete jungle to the countryside.
I can't believe you're asking this because that's like 43 years ago. But it seems like yesterday because it was such an impactful experience.
Already a pitcher in the Yankees organization, Pete Eshelman's playing career was cut short from injuries, but he knew mentally he wasn't checked out of the game just yet.
When I got hurt, I called the Yankee front office up and I said, I'd like to get into the business side of baseball. And they said there are no positions open. And I said, well, let me come to New York. I'd like to just talk and interview, and I'd like to meet Mr. Steinbrenner.
And so that's what he did. Refusing to take no for an answer, Eshelman sat inside Yankee Stadium for 3 days waiting for the boss to show up.
And the third day at the Yankee Stadium, the elevator was right by the office doors, and he smashes open that elevator door, smashes the doors open, and he says, Eshelman, you're a pain in the butt. Get in here, let's talk.
From that moment on, in 1977, Steinbrenner taking Eshelman under his wing, teaching him how to win big in America's greatest pastime.
Being the best in the world, I'll never forget that. And that's why I wear this ring, because that's a reminder of just give it your best shot. Why do something half-hearted?
Certainly, a lot to learn from Steinbrenner as a businessman. But what also stuck out to Eshelman was a side to Steinbrenner that the outside rarely saw.
He saved more people's lives. A lot of young ball players that got on drugs, that got into trouble, behind the scenes. He's cutting them checks. He's giving them counseling. He's having them over at his house. He's encouraging them. You know, get your life back together. You're going to destroy it.
Steinbrenner not only investing second chances in his players, but in the people from the Bronx, too.
I haven't told many people this, but a friend of mine, Ray Negron. Ray Negron, in 1977, was a young black kid in the Bronx. George drives a limousine up in the middle of the season, drives his limo up to go to the office. Ray's up against the wall, handcuffed. 6 cops around him. Steinbrenner says, stop. Goes over to the cop, says, what's going on here? He says, this boy was painting graffiti on the side of Yankee Stadium. And George looks at him and says, son, do you want to go to jail or do you want to work for me? And Ray goes, I'd like to work for you, sir. Today, he is the #2 guy at Yankee Stadium.
New York will always hold a special place in Eshelman's heart. One, for his time with the Yankees and their World Series run, but also meeting his future wife, Alice.
New York is a very special spot because of those two things. You know, it incubated my business career with some very strong values, and also meeting my wife of now 41 years. And the stories we had together, and the times we had together, and the struggles we had together. So it is like one of the most super special spots on the planet for us.
From the concrete jungles of New York to the countryside here in Roanoke. How did Eshelman end up here? Well, there's a lot of twists and turns on that road.
So after '77, I really wasn't making that much money in the Yankees front office. There was going to be a good path with the Yankees. It was going to take a long time. But I had a friend in Boston who was making a lot of money in the life insurance business. And I thought if I could just get in the insurance business and then with this idea in the back of my head build a company around insuring guaranteed contracts, because I kind of knew that it was going to be baseball, basketball, you know, these guaranteed contracts are going to be prolific in professional sports.
The chase for wealth took Eshelman to Boston, then Fort Wayne. Realizing along the way big business wasn't his style, he decided to open up his own sports insurance company from the basement of his house.
Bought another building, another building, another building, another building, and about 25 properties later and 100,000 square feet, you know, we had this cool insurance company.
With business booming, Eshelman needed a way to accommodate his high-profile clients.
It's hard to take them to a country club where somebody's wanting their autographs, taking pictures, stuff like that. So we took the old bank here, hired a corporate chef, a server, and we had private dinners in this restaurant.
It didn't take long for him to realize yet another business adventure stood right in front of him.
And in 2000 we said, you know, let's make this a permanent situation, make it available to the public.
And 20 years later, Eshelman and company have turned Joseph Decuis into one of the finest dining spots in the Midwest. You would say, without a doubt, in your mind, that you guys are the New York Yankees of restaurants here in Roanoke.
I'd say here in America.
Growing up, Eshelman known for his pitching, but turned into a slugger in the business world. One home run after another. In Roanoke, Colton Howard, Wayne 15.